Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Ask the Coach session live with myself, Velenie Jacob from Nara Consulting, and we have
Chris Elphick from Breadfruit Consulting. Good evening, everyone, and good evening, Velenie.
Good evening to you, Chris. How are you?
I'm good, yes. Did you enjoy Independence?
I did enjoy the Independence celebration. By the way, happy belated Independence celebration to everyone. We have entered into 42 years of independence, and congratulations to everyone. So we are back with another session today, and we've gone through a session last week. Sorry, not the week before, and it was really exciting. I'll let Chris summarize that session. Just touch on a few main points that we talked about in our last session, and we can carry on with what we want to talk about today.
And maybe it's worth just reminding people, yeah? I mean, we are both business coaches. The idea of a coach is to work with anyone running a business, isn't it? Just to help them improve, yeah? And last week the focus was around being a small business owner. And we had Sandrine, and in construction, came in and spoke with us. Yeah? And it's pretty challenging being a small business owner in the best of times. At the moment, it's particularly challenging. Two things that Sandrine said that really stick in my mind, and one was about keeping up the motivation. Yeah? You know, sometimes we think, well, owners must be okay, they must be making lots of money. That's not true for most people running small businesses, is it? Yeah, they probably struggle to achieve what they need. So an owner needs to be motivated just the same as anyone else. And the other thing I remember, I think you asked Sandrine about what annoys her, yeah? And one of the things she said was when people don't pay the bill. And I think this is really important. I know it's difficult times for everybody economically, but when someone doesn't pay, then that affects the small business, that affects their ability to pay, that affects their ability to pay their staff. So it's a whole knock-on effect. Yeah, and all I would say is if people can't afford to pay, they have to go and be honest and talk about it. Because I can understand that it is annoying and we all need each other. But that was a good start, and look forward to this evening.
Thank you, Chris. One thing I picked up from what Sandrine talked about was getting family involved. Yes. in her business. She's a very smart lady, managing 3 businesses at once, and she involves her family in the business. Which leads us to our next topic for today, is things to remember when recruiting a staff. So we know in Vanuatu context, when doing business, like we said previously in our last episode, we have relatives who are, they think of people in business as, they think that we have a lot to give, and sometimes they are not supportive of us doing business. But with what Sandrine came to talk about, it was the opposite. She involved her family in supporting her doing her business. So I think that's one of the things that we are going to go through in our session today as well. The things to look for in recruiting a staff. Yeah. Yeah. Just to you who are watching, we have a prize winning for this session. If you comment first below, in the comment section below, if you're the first to comment below, you'll be able to win a ticket for 2 to Tanah Sine. So don't miss your chance.
Well, I might make the first comment so I can win the ticket.
All right, so our theme for today, things to think about when recruiting. So, in recruiting a staff, there's a lot of things to think about when recruiting a staff.
In lots of ways, this is one of the biggest issues, isn't it?
Definitely.
I mean, most people starting small businesses start off on their own or with a friend or partner, yeah? So sole trader or a partnership. That's how most small ones start, don't they? Then gradually the need comes for having other people. Obviously, if you're running a shop, you can't be working in the shop and going out buying things. You've got to have other people to do these things for you. Yeah? I think it's a big challenge, isn't it? Who do we choose? How do we choose them? And it links totally with what you were saying earlier on about friends and family. Do we automatically take our friends and family? Just because they're friends and family, are they going to be the best staff member for my business? I don't know. Personally, I think we probably need to be a little bit more organized than that.
Yeah. So I think the first thing to think about is clarifying. For me as a business owner, if I want to employ a staff, I have to firstly clarify the role.
Yes. What do we want them to do?
What do we want them to do? What are the skills that we require from somebody?
What are the skills? What are the attitudes we require? Yeah. You know, if we're running a small business and we want to recruit someone to deal with customers, they've got to be good with people. Yeah. And we really need to try and find that out very early on, don't we?
Yeah.
I mean, almost before we recruit them.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So firstly is the role. What do we want them to come into what do we want to employ them for? And what are the skills that they're going to come with? What are the skills that they have that they're going to come with? Most of the time, it's not just about the qualifications, but it's about what you can bring.
Yes, I think that's really important, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, we've talked before, haven't we, on these programs about hard skills and soft skills. Yeah. So qualifications, somebody may have a diploma in something that shows that they can do sales or something, yeah? But that doesn't necessarily mean they're good with people. So yeah, so stage number one, as the owner, exactly what is the owner looking for? Then I think stage number two for me is what is the owner going to offer? Yeah?
Definitely.
I mean, I would call that terms and conditions. Yeah?
Right. And that terms and condition has to be very clear to whoever's coming in.
Well, I think it does. And I think very often it's not clear. And I think very often when we take on friends and family, someone says, oh, I'd love to work for you. And say, yeah, come on, come and work for me. Yeah? But no one really knows what to expect from each other. And when something happens or somebody is sick or they've got other commitments, and then it can suddenly turn quite difficult, yeah?
Yes. And when we talk about terms and conditions, we have this minimum wage that is, a lot of people are already complaining about the minimum wage, that it's too small, it's not enough for the cost of living that we're having now. But it's very important that if we as businesses are employing based on minimum wage, at least we have something else that, tops up, something else to offer apart from that. And it could be anything in kind, that, you have this agreement with your employee that, it's an agreement that you both agree with before he steps into the employment.
I think the challenge for the owner is if you can't afford to employ someone, then you shouldn't do it, quite honestly. I think that terms and conditions, for me, need to be about treating people fairly and with respect. I understand all the challenges about money, yeah? But as you say, perhaps we can only afford to pay the minimum wage. But can we also maybe give people some food or, contribute towards school fees or something? Yeah? Yeah. But I think these things need to be thought out by the owner in advance. Do you agree? Yeah.
Yes.
And if they can't really afford to do it, it raises a big question, doesn't it?
Definitely.
About their business. Yeah. It's not the fault of the person being employed if they're not clear. what's being asked of them. They've got to be given clear picture right at the beginning.
Right. And this is something that most employers, small business employers, fall into problems because that understanding is not, there's no understanding between the employee and the employer.
Absolutely, and I think I wonder whether that's about an attitude of the way we look at employees. Yeah? I mean, I've always taken the view that an employee is about helping the employer make money.
True.
And the employer should look at them like that. Yeah? They're being really helpful to them.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
You know? I think this is a big area, and I do see over the years I've been coaching a lot of tension and conflict. Starts with the lack of clarity at the beginning. So expectations are unclear. Yeah? What I expect of you as an employer is different to what you expect of me as an employee. It's not been written down, it's not been talked about. So right from day one, it's unclear. It's a big topic, eh?
Yeah, it is. So it just works like this. If the employer looks after the employee then looks after the customer.
Yes.
So it creates a, compact.
Absolutely, and if the employee is not happy, how on earth are they going to deliver good customer service? Yeah, would you? Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. You know, it really needs to be thought through really, really carefully. The other thing is, if someone's joining a sole trader or a couple of people, then they're creating a small team. Huh? So that's the other thing to think about, isn't it? Is how are they all fitting into the team?
Exactly. And it's how you, how would you get somebody to fit into the team? Their age group, their gender,
Experience.
the experience. So it's about getting somebody that fits in well into the team. And if you're creating that space that, welcomes somebody who's going to fit in right into the team.
Yeah. And I mean, my approach would be, even if I was recruiting my best friend, I would still want to interview them. And I would probably invite someone else to help me do that, who didn't know them so well, especially if you're trying to recruit a family member. I know this is difficult, yeah? And there's lots of assumptions, aren't there? Family members assume they're going to work in your business. But we really need to be thinking a long term here, yeah? 5, 10 years. Are we going to get the right people in here? It's going to cost. I mean, the other thing about all this is that employing people is expensive. Yep. If we get it wrong, yeah, it costs money, and it's not good for the person being employed either. It doesn't make them feel good. Yeah? So I think everything we're talking about is the work you've got to do at the beginning, before you even get somebody.
I like what you said about the cost of employing people. I've been in organizations where 80% of the budget goes to staff employment, and we can't afford to, get somebody in and pay him or her a lot of money for nothing.
Absolutely.
So that's worth less than what we want.
And we can't afford to bring someone in who then feels bad because they're not doing what they want to do, or they don't understand the job.
It's both two-way.
It is. Okay. I mean, there's a lot in this topic, and I don't think we're going to cover it all this evening, are we?
We do have someone who's going to share her experience on recruitment.
Okay, fantastic.
Yes.
So why don't we do that?
Let's do that. And we'll carry on more on that maybe in our next episode, but we'll talk about, we'll give this moment to a special guest with us, and she's going to be talking about her experience on recruitment. We have Anita from Moorings, and she will be joining us shortly.
Good.
Thank you, Chris.
And I'll come back.
You come back and I'll wrap up.
Yeah, okay. So
there's a free giveaway prize for this session, and if you're watching and you're interested in participating, put your question down below, and your question has to be related to the topic. And there's a free giveaway prize, and it's a ticket for 2 to Tana Cine, and this ticket is sponsored by Nara Consulting. Welcome back to our session today, and we have our very special guest here with us today. She is Anita from Moorings Resort, and she will be talking to us a little more about her experience on recruitment. Don't forget, if you have a question related to the topic, and our topic for today, our theme is things to think about before recruiting. So if you have a question, the first person to put a question below will have a ticket for 2 to Tana Cine for any movie that you want to watch. Thanks again, and Anita, how are you today?
I'm good, and good evening, everyone. My name is Anita. I'm originally from Pentecost, married over to Malekula with 2 kids. I'm employed at Moorings Hotel as an admin assistant. I've been with Moorings for over 6 years. My task includes human resource, and that is where recruitment of staff comes in.
What are some of the challenges that you've dealt with during recruitment?
Thank you, Velenie. There may be quite a lot of challenges, but one of the most common challenges we face when recruiting is when we tend to pick up candidates from a pool of unqualified talents. We know that our options are limited. We can pick the best person we find at that time, but not best to fit the job. With this, we have to switch our minds from being reactive to proactive by thinking, looking at other angles. We then come to find that hiring a right candidate is often from a smaller pipeline of qualified talents, which we have to be clear about giving out the requirements in our job ads.
Right, so that's exactly what we, myself and Chris, have talked about in the beginning. When, creating an advertisement or something, a vacancy for the job, it has to be really clear so that the right people are applying for the job. And I've seen this, I've seen a lot of complaints from a lot of, it's not really a complaint, but it's something that a lot of businesses are facing at the moment. Sometimes we put out applications, vacancies that are not really, let's say, it's not really to the target audience that we want them to apply for, and it's really, it's like you said. So that's a really good approach that you're taking, a proactive step into getting somebody in, but then mentoring them, and nice one. So if you were to give an advice to any small business that is watching on recruitment, what sort of advice would you give them right now in terms of recruiting someone into their business?
Well, thank you. I'd say a business is only as good as those operating it. And there are 2 things I'd like to give as an advice to anyone who's owning a small business. First one is interview with enthusiasm. If you are so passionate about your business, let this shine during the interview process. Explain why it's a great place for a candidate who wants to know your business and how your business is going. Also that the business they are going to work has a solid plan and a good leader. So it's important that we convey our missions and our visions for the future. Workers today are also choosy than ever about they want to work. If they don't think you can make it worthwhile for them, you risk the great talent to another business, which may also become your competitor.
Nice one. So if you're listening carefully to what Anita is saying, it's about you being charismatic about your business and putting that passion in your interview to your candidate, because in return, they will also be, they will also be interested and, very, they would want to know more about what your organization or your company is offering, what you do, and they would want to come to your company. But then it's also, like you said, people are a bit choosy about their job as well. So you got to do what you got to do to attract the best employee. Thank you, Anita.
One of the best ways to attract qualified talent is the competitive salary. Skilled workers know what they want. So as a business owner, we don't scheme on salary in today's tight job. We have to do our best to find what a typical wage is that fits the position of someone we hire, and to match it at a higher wage, particularly if the role is for a skilled person that we are looking for, and if the opportunity is after a careful review, then we need to hire a skilled person and to hire a valuable person. So if we happen to find someone that's qualified, then my advice to small business owners that not to hesitate, they have to go for it.
Thank you, Anita. So I think most of you who are watching, if you have a small business and are watching our show today, I think you should be getting more advice from Anita, because they run one of the best hotels in town that's running even through the COVID. They still manage to, run their business throughout this crisis, even when tourism is about this level now, but they're going through, and now the borders are open, they're still running with their business. Thank you, Anita. So as we are talking about the recruitment, it also comes into, building the staff capacity of your staff. Could you tell the audience what's your overall comment? I mean, what's your overall comment on staff capacity and team building in a business?
With the staff capacity building, I'd say every business has what it takes to grow, and if given the right tools to do so. So capacity building in a business here, it helps to develop new resources to perform business activities. It is also necessary to put available resources to the most effective use, and to also to maximize their strengths so as to achieve their goals.
Great job, Anita. Thank you so much. You also do coaching, right? You have a side thing that you are good in coaching. Do you offer coaching for your staff as well? And if you do, how do you do your coaching to your staff, and what benefits does coaching have for your staff?
Thank you, Velenie. We do provide training and coaching in the workplace, and this benefits our staff to think outside the box and contribute with their ideas to build a strong and healthy team work relationship within our team. And this helps the business to grow successfully and exceeding our customers' expectations and achieving the company goal. As we all understand, if someone asks, what is the heart of a business? And to me, the heart of a business is the staff. So when the staffs are well-groomed, are well-trained and coached, then we have a healthy team within a business. Thank you.
Thank you, Anita. So thank you so much. And this has been really, I hope the viewers that are watching are really appreciative of what advices that you're giving. Thank you for your time in answering these questions. And for those of you who are watching, if you want to know more, you can talk to Anita. She's at the Moorings. Moorings is famous. And you know, if you have a small business, you can get in contact with her, and she can, you can talk to her, and she can you know, support you in whatever advices that she has. Thank you once again, and thank you for your time. And
Thank you, Thomas.
thank you, Thomas Liu, Anita. Welcome back again, Chris. What do you think of the interview?
Well, wasn't that interesting, eh? And it really encouraged people to go to the Moorings. Eh? I mean, the main message for me from all that is that all businesses are all about people, yeah? Aren't they, really?
Yes.
Yeah? I mean, we provide services, but they're all about people. And especially in the tourism business, I mean, there are beaches all over the world. Yeah? There are cafes all over the world. There are hotels all over the world. Yeah? What makes a difference are the people.
Definitely.
And that was really the message, wasn't it? And what struck me just very quickly, one of the things that Anita talked about was about letting the staff know what the vision is for the future. And I think a lot of employers employ people and they don't engage them, they don't involve them. Yeah, they just turn up for work, they do their work and they go away again. But they're not involved. But actually, it's the employees that meet the customers all the time, isn't it? And if they're not involved, how are they going to be able to tell the customers what the plans are and so on? So I think that idea of engaging that your employees are part of your team, that was a big one for me. But very good. It's good, isn't it, to hear what people are actually doing. And I would encourage people watching this just to go along and talk to Anita.
Definitely. So if you haven't put any questions on the the comment box below, please put a question that's related to the topic. Any first questions on the comment box below will get a free ticket for 2 to Tanah Sine. Yes?
Good. Yes, that's fine. Yeah.
Nice one. So next episode, we will still be talking about staff, but the employee and the employer, but we'll be talking about the challenges between an employee and an employer.
Yeah, and I think probably we should talk a little bit more about the actual recruitment part of it.
Right,
as well, which
we haven't
had
really
time.
covered.
It's a big topic.
It is.
So we
It
just
is.
keep going for as long as we need. Cool.
Thank you again for watching. And if you have any questions, please put that below.
But
Put a
also-
thumbs up. Please share this video.
Yes, but also encourage people to contact us. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
We can offer coaching around employing people.
Thank you, everyone, for watching, and we'll see you on our next session.
Good night, everyone. Take care.
Good night,
Thanks,
everyone.
Velenie.
Thank you, Chris.